Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're here in Christopher's actual farm. It wasn't a joke, you know.
No, but his beard is. Oh, I'm awfully sorry about that.
Why do you have to? You're so... Look, you've just insulted me, but then you've saved yourself with giving me a cup of tea.
It is well deserved for coming out, and well deserved to you also for clicking on this video, particularly if you've just embraced the religion of Islam.
Or you're interested in thinking of converting. Because maybe this video will give you a bit of a so-called shove in the right direction. So chin to that. Yeah, some people need a bit of a shove to get going, don't they?
I don't know about that, but if you have recently embraced Islam, I think this video will be quite vital and critical, full of information, full of advice, and a lot of very, very important details that may well save you from a lot of trouble in the future.
Well, as we know, the media onslaught, as I like to call it, doesn't tend to portray Islam in a particularly good light. And despite this, since about 2013, over 100,000 new converts embraced the religion of Islam in the UK alone, which is absolutely incredible. And the latest census has shown that the Muslim population is growing and it's proper healthy.
Indeed.
Good seed.
Indeed. So if you've embraced Islam recently, if we reflect back to when we became Muslims, I became Muslim in 2010. So prior to that,
1910.
Thereabouts.
Years old, you know, the old bean.
Thereabouts. Yeah, I do remember the Spitfires in the sky.
They weren't even invented yet then.
No. So 2010, so-called ISIS and these kind of terror groups didn't exist at that time. So there wasn't that stigmatization that existed. It was obviously after 9/11, but it kind of died down a bit. Whereas it was after so-called ISIS and all that.
So actually, within like during the period of me being at university with you, you know, we had some, you know, terrible, unfortunate events that had happened in the UK and across Europe, and obviously, as they say, Islam wasn't exactly a flavor of the month in the news.
No.
And it was quite. It was actually the manners of Muslims that I actually encountered that made me realise the poppycock and the lies, frankly, that the media portrays. And I think, you know, it's very important that we realise that the actions of Muslims, they are under the microscope, and we are ambassadors of the religion. Now,
Indeed.
Christopher, when you embraced Islam, did you make any mistakes, would you say?
Arguably, there are things that I would have done differently, including, for example, if you've recently become a Muslim, I would advise you not to rush to change your cultural identity. And by that I mean, for example, changing what you wear, changing your appearance to the point that you stick out like a sore thumb, and changing your name and changing everything about you. You have to bear in mind the implications of your changes and the impact of that upon other people around you, your family, your friends. What they're going to think. And it's not necessary for you to wear, for example, a thobe. What I used to do, you know, I suddenly, one minute I was the joker of the class, and then the next minute I'm wearing a thobe and growing a beard and telling all sorts of women to wear headscarves. And it comes back to bite you on the bum, so to speak, you know. And you have to be careful of this burnout as well. So you have to remember that if you're a European or a Western white person that's embraced the religion of Islam, you have to remember that Islam is moderation, first and foremost, and you should be moderate in how you approach things. If you go to extremes, because you can't learn everything all of a sudden, if you go to extremes, you're going to get burnout. You're going to face this burnout phase, and that might have even further detrimental impacts to your mental health also. I mean, what was it like when you became a Muslim, and what advice would you give after the things that you faced in terms of like cultural identity, dealing with family members and dealing with relationships and so on and so forth?
So I definitely realised that I did go, so to speak, a bit extreme. I mean, like it's not obligatory to change one's name, and I feel I wanted to do it, and I'm glad I did, but I still, you know, don't neglect my British Ben name, you know, because I didn't realise at the time that actually changing my name actually upset my mum, because, you know, she'd given birth to me and she'd known me as Ben, and all of a sudden, you know, the Facebook changes and someone said, oh, who's Khalid? And, you know, she thinks it's somebody else. And there were instances where, you know, I did make her upset, and perhaps I pushed people away. And the thing is, you have to get that balance, because at the end of the day, one is an ambassador for the religion.
Indeed.
And it is so easy to fall into extremes and to be pulled into certain directions, and it can be quite isolating. I mean, I've definitely learned such a lot over the last 2 years. And the thing is, if I could advise anything, is look at the seerah of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the way how he dealt with non-Muslims,
Yeah.
and the way how his incredible manners and his aura actually led to people converting.
Yeah. I mean, even what he was wearing at the time, like, he didn't change it suddenly. You know, he didn't say, I'm a prophet of God, and then suddenly started wearing a turban and stuff like that. He was already wearing it because it was part of his cultural identity. It was part of the society. And it's important, although, like, for the people of Quraysh at the time, you know, the tribes of Mecca, they saw Islam as foreign in terms of religion, but not in terms of culture. It wasn't a cultural shift, it was a religious shift. It was a shift within people's hearts, and then within the chests of man, in the belief, and bringing them back to the oneness of God. And that brings us on to a second point that we wanted to discuss today, wasn't it? About, you know, advising for you new Muslims to become well grounded and strong in aqeedah, in theology. It's very, very important, because this is your jewel of faith. This is the core building brick that builds your palace. So it's very, very important that you understand the aqeedah, understand the differences between the different religions and what differentiates Islam from other religions, specifically with relation to, you know, that God exists and his existence is not like the creation, and whatever you imagine in your mind, God is different from it. And if you use this as a building base, inshallah, God willing, you would build a beautiful palace for yourself and set yourself up for further knowledges and sciences for you to acquire.
Exactly. And in order to do this, you know, finding a teacher that you can sit down with and not relying upon so-called YouTube sheikhs that just say random things or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
that's not us.
Yeah, like, we're not sheikhs at all. But, you know, sitting down with people and having that transmission of knowledge that goes all the way back to the Prophet, peace be upon him. And like Christopher says, like, realizing, like, what Islam teaches, like our belief, the true belief in God, that he does not resemble the creation in any way whatsoever.
Indeed.
And when you
that.
when you realize that, you know, it does, so to speak, you know, blow your mind, and it really does cleanse your heart. And seeking knowledge, learning, and surrounding yourself with people that want the best for you. Now the thing is, when you do embrace Islam, or you've already embraced Islam, there's a bit of a thing here, is that people think that they have to go to a mosque and do it, don't they? And this is not the case at all. Yeah, maybe you embrace Islam after this video, and you can do it in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah.
By saying Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. And once you've said it, learn what it means.
Yeah.
Learn what the Shahada entails, what it means. There is no God but God, and that Muhammad is the final messenger of God. And, you know, just going from there. And I think having a bit of a plan, having a network.
Yeah, you need
good.
a structure, particularly if you're wanting to study Islam. A lot of you will be very, very eager to learn Arabic. A lot of you will be very, very eager potentially to even go and study abroad. But just remember to have a wise head on you, to think straight and to think about the implications that your actions may have on others around you. In fact, Islam should be encouraging you to build the bonds with your family even stronger. You should be serving your mother and father even stronger. You should be visiting your kin even more than you had done before, prior. So Islam should be encouraging you to build upon this. It should be encouraging you to go out of your way and do the good deeds to show people that Islam has made me a better person, because I understand that some of you may be very, very eager. You've got a lot of energy, and you're like somebody that's just passed his test, unlike some.
No, not me yet.
And you want to drive everywhere at 100 miles an hour, and you want to go and pick up all your friends, and you want to go here, there, and everywhere.
But you might
But,
crash and lose control.
Exactly.
Of the car.
Over time, when you start to become a bit of an experienced driver, you think, you know what, I'm going to take my time. I'm not in a rush. It's not a race. Ben can make his way to where I am. I don't have to go and pick him up. You know, you take your
I don't know how I'm
time.
going to get back.
You can take your time, because it's not a race. Quality is better than quantity, because you can otherwise make vital mistakes along your way and have a detrimental impact. And we don't want anybody whatsoever to be influenced by radicalization and extremism. Not only does it harm Muslims, it harms non-Muslims, it harms the whole entire world. And if anybody ever got caught in that, then the security services, the police, and all relevant organizations should be involved, because we never, ever condone extremism and terrorism. We advocate for a moderate Islam, for the Islam that the Prophet came with and that he advised his companions with on how to correspond with the people around him in his community, and about changing the hearts and enlightening the hearts and bringing kindness and good manners to people.
How beautiful is this? And this is the thing, like, I'll be honest, you know, because...
Did you not like your tea?
Oh, well, I'm actually drinking, actually.
Oh dear, would you like some more?
Yeah, go on.
I've got a flask prepared here.
But do you think we'll hear any ducks later?
Bismillah.
Barakallahu feek. Because the thing is...
I thought you were married.
Let's not go into that detail. We're not a OK magazine here, Christopher.
Oh, you're not married?
No, are you? No. But the thing is what I've realised is, especially...
Even that's a topic within itself, isn't it?
What?
Don't rush towards marriage. That's a very important point as well.
If you want us to discuss that, do drop it in the comments. Now, the thing is, ladies and gentlemen...
No, I meant with converts.
What,
People have just embraced Islam. They don't need to get married 2 weeks later.
No, that's true. But I think there is
Marriage
a sort of
is
pressure,
a lifelong dedication.
Exactly.
It's not a 2-week job, and it's, you know, you don't, as they say in Britain, you know, a wife's not just for Christmas.
Well, could it's not just for, could we say might be said, but it's not just for Eid, is it?
Exactly. It's a lifelong dedication. What's that?
Oh no! I thought that it was going to be the ducks, but instead it's that horrible alarm thing. Oh dear.
Is that what time you normally wake up?
No, a bit later than that.
All right.
The thing is, when it comes to marriage, we will discuss this if you like. Do drop
Yeah.
it in the comments if you like. But you want to gauge, like, and have a ground yourself in Islamic knowledge, because you want to know what you're doing. You want to be praying. You want to be fulfilling your obligations, and of course, staying away from the haram things. And I think, overall, Islam teaches us to be a good person, to serve the community. And this is something that we need to take. Me and Christopher here, the whole point of us being and talking to you guys is to invite you and to be on your journey as well.
Yeah.
And with a bit of tongue-in-cheek humour at the same time.
No biscuits though.
No, I'm a bit disappointed because last time we had a cake, didn't we? A Victoria sponge.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
But I think on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. And we do babble on a little bit too much, but don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and do join us. See, it's funny, you know, like, you know, we bubble in Britain.
You
all
can
that.
relax. You
Yes.
can take it easy, you know. You can have, you know,
bit of
truthful
banter.
jokes.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah, this is, you know, within a very, very short space of time, some of the advice that we would give to you. Perhaps maybe there might be a part 2 or a part 3 coming later on, because there's so much to cover.
Exactly.
Oh, bloody hell, you got me slipping on my words now. But for now...
That's how cold you are. You haven't got your water bottle, have you?
No, I've got my scarf. But for now, I think it's time that we went to go and get a spot of lunch, don't you?
Yes, I think a tuna sandwich in like a nice triangle. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and do join us next time on a bit of a chinwag. Do take care, and may peace be upon you.
tuna sandwich.
Well, what are you going to want?
I was thinking chicken.
Just chicken.
Yeah. Tuna sandwich.
Well, I'm going to go this way because you smell. Oh, I forgot my key!